Black Ops 7.
They are so stupid. They don't even realize it. They said being a stay-at-home mom, taking care of the children, keeping the house clean, and having a beautiful home and a beautiful family, they said that's slavery. And then they go and they actually become a slave to a corporation who will fire them like that the moment they're not profitable.
Hardcore domination. Secure the objective.
One of my friends is a nurse. He's a
Securing
male
Alpha.
nurse. He's a really good guy, super smart guy.
Underway on Bravo.
And he says the majority of his work is just cleaning up after these dumb fucking bitches, nurses in the hospital. Cleaning up after their mess.
B locked down.
One of my friends, he said he was standing outside watching people. I think they were getting like a food truck or something after the club. Some woman just walked up to a guy. She was like, "Can you buy my food?" Like, the guy's like, "Oh, okay, sure, whatever."
Securing C.
Yeah.
Securing
Let
Charlie.
me show you something else.
Losing A. Taking C.
So, taking a look here. Okay. This is a chart of Americans living abroad, the trend and the projection.
We're losing Alpha.
Last year was the first year since the Great Depression in the 1930s when America had terrible economic situation, right? This was the first time since the
Locking down Charlie.
1930s, 90
Losing
years
Bravo.
ago, when we were going through terrible situation, where we had more people leaving America than coming in. This is citizens too. This is not us deporting all the illegals, right? And if you look at this chart right here, you can see in 2010, about 3 million men lived abroad. People lived abroad, and the majority, 75% of this is men. Okay. This is based on this is not exact census data. This is a combination of IRS data, tax filings, and stuff. But as you can see, in 2022, it jumped to 4.4 million, and then we had obviously lockdowns and stuff that slowed it a little bit. But then we opened up again in 2022, right? And then 2024 is currently 5.5 million. 2026 projected to be 5.8. And then 2028, 6.2, and 2030, 6.5 million. So, the smart people are exiting America. And I will just tell you guys here,
Securing C.
if I were to compare my life in America to my life abroad, right? America, in my opinion,
We're losing Alpha.
when I'm in America, it doesn't feel like I'm living life.
All objectives
When I'm
locked
in America,
down.
I
Keep
feel
the
like
guild
I'm
back.
existing to pay bills. Because when you go to foreign countries, okay, guys,
They're taking
the
C.
women are the spice of life, right? When you go to these other countries, everybody's skinny, everybody's so fucking good looking, everything's so fucking safe, too. You don't have to worry about some fucking hood rat pulling a gun in your face in the middle of fucking, you know, in the middle of the day these days to rob you because he saw some fucking hip-hop music video and wants to do that shit. Right?
Lost all zones. Enemy care package
Everything
dropping.
in life
Locking
is
down Charlie.
to be based around us reproducing, having sex, and having children.
Locking down Bravo.
America, they have successfully perverted existence to get to the point where now we are just existing to
You know I'm
make
there.
the elites richer.
Taking a bomb strike location.
Okay. And so, also, take a look here. This is obesity data, and the body positivity movie started around 2010s. Okay, and so right around here, the obesity rate was 35%. It was actually trending down. It went down to 34.9. But once body positivity started shooting up, then you could see how dumb women are. Keeping this shit.
Losing A.
And we peaked around there 42.4. Looks like we did drop a little bit, but estimates
요청한다.
vary.
Losing Alpha.
The data shows between 41 and 44%. Right.
C.
So you can see the
Shut up and take my money.
you can see the propaganda is truly working in America,
Takeo marking.
and the ones that are eating it up are these disgusting
That's
fat
what I'm
fake
talking
women.
about.
Right? Can you guys name me one body
Got it.
positivity male model? Okay, can anybody name me one body positivity
사격 중지. Authorizing UAV mission.
icon for men? Doesn't exist.
Shut up and take my money.
It doesn't exist because men are not fucking retarded like women in that sense, right? Even this big black bitch fucking Lizzo is trying to lose weight nowadays. You know? And she is still disgusting.
Takeo establishing Samsung.
I think she is losing weight though. She is
We've lost
on
Charlie.
Ozempic. I think that is something I've heard. But again, like if you look at okay, just look at this guy. I've never checked her Instagram. I just pulled it up, right? So look at this. Lizzo bitch album signing. Like this is trashy. This is disgusting. This is like an abomination. This is not respectable. This is
Hell
not
yeah.
anything to have pride about. Okay?
Enemies have deleted your echo
And
unit.
yeah, this is this is who the icons are in the West.
이동 지점 설정.
We lost
Okay.
C.
And I think
Game
even
fix.
she's on like
Enemy
even
LVBR
she's getting on
inbound.
GLPs and stuff. Like, yeah, this is just terrible.
Bringing
Your
Samsung.
career's over. Yeah, album sold 6K, 7K. Oh wow, you see, this is funny, guys. Are finally fucking standing up, but disgusting, extremely disgusting, like grotesquely, embarrassingly, and nastily disgusting.
Hostiles released a skewer.
You know.
They're on the ropes. Don't let them free.
적 자산 포착.
Mr. Wolf, $10 super chat. Women have a huge ego with working careers. They really do. It's so funny. Most dudes I've met don't make their job for their personality. I see it all the time when I ask girls how much they ask how much I make for what I do. A lot of jealousy.
AO
Yeah,
secured.
exactly.
Resupply
I met
teams
some
inbound.
bitch in Tokyo, some Korean hoe. She was westernized, and I remember she like walked up and she thought she was hot shit, right? And she's like, "Oh, so what do you do?" I was like, "What do you do?" She's like, "Oh, well, I'm a corporate lawyer." I was like, "Adorable. So you're a slave for a bunch of men? That's very cute." I didn't say that, but I was like, "Oh wow, fucking cool, great." In my head, I was like, "Get the fuck away from me," right? And then she's like, "What do you do?" And like when arrogant cunts like this like to run their stupid fucking whore mouths, I'm just like, "Yeah, I'm just a YouTuber, you know. I'm fucking. You're better than me." Because I don't even want to deal with it. I don't even want to put up with it. I'm just like, you know what? Just get the fuck away from me. You're a useless whore. And it's funny, when I was passing through Korea a couple years ago, I met this bitch on at some fucking party in Tokyo. I saw her on Bumble 3 years later, still single and looking awful, looking terrible, right? So phenomenal to see karma do its role. Mitchell Amaya, $5 super chat. Mitchell, thank you very much, brother. He says, not only did she get her partner off, she also offed an innocent bystander. Women should not be in law enforcement or any male. Women should not be lawyers. Women should not be judges. Women should not be police officers. Women should not be firefighters, okay? If you're burning to death in your house, do you want a group of 10 men coming to fucking save you? Or do you want a group of 10 women who could barely fucking pick up the equipment? You know, it's like it's comical at this point. But yeah, like I said, guys, you know, all in all, everything I've been telling you guys together is that I'm a data-driven person. I'm looking at everything, and America is it doesn't look. It's cooked, bro. It's doomed. It's fucked.
Hardcore domination.
It is so fucked.
Take the objective.
You know.
Securing Alpha.
So, if you're not working on yourself, get ready to have a life of suffering, okay?
Zone Alpha
You know,
captured.
get ready to suffer.
Securing all zones.
I'm just reading some data here too. So, you know, and when you talk about multiple things too, I mean, dating apps in America, every time I look at dating apps, like fat, trans, fat, big, ugly, fat, covered in tattoos, whore, like...
What is this lag though? Like,
you can go on dating apps and you're like, holy shit, it's like I fucking won the lotto, there's so many beautiful women here, right? But here in Fatlandia, it's just, like I said,
the advantage. Now we have to keep it.
it's just a big joke. It's a big fucking joke. And they're laughing at you, you know? So, all I'm gonna say is that, Ed J306 asked a very good question. He says, yes, American women are brutal. So what's the answer for men that will continue living here? Money, muscles, game, and frame. If you're not doing cold approach, guys, if you want a wife, you have to understand, in America, finding a wife is going to be like a second full-time job. You need to be getting out every day. You need to be joining things and doing things that you like, whether it's church, whether it's sporting activities, whether it's, you know, kava bars. I don't recommend going to bars and alcohol and club and drinking all that degenerate horseshit. You're just gonna find a whore, okay? But you damn near, and here's another thing, if you're not in an area where there's a large population of women, then you're probably screwed too. Okay? You're probably screwed. The days of life being easy in America for most people are over. The average American person now lives in a state of low-level depression. 1 in 4 women are on some kind of antidepressant and or SSRI, another victim of the feminism shit, right? These doctors, it's amazing how women are so fucking dumb. They just like listen to whatever doctor says. And they'll take these drugs, they'll take all this shit that the doctors give them. I mean, birth control makes you want to, like, only whores get on birth control, right? And doctors lie to women and say, oh, it's going to help you regulate your period. Meanwhile, it's going to make you choose the wrong man, get fatter, and just fuck you up. SSRIs fuck you up. All of these antidepressants, all this shit, it just fucks you up. It's not helping anybody. Sure, is there a small percentage of people that are getting helped by it? Sure, I believe so. But, you know, you're treating the symptom, not the cause.
They're taking C.
You know?
Hostile LDVR drop detected.
So, when you just look at everything, it's just, you are playing on hard mode, And if you don't have game,
We're losing
and you're
Alpha.
not locked in, you're not living a serious life, you're done.
Underway on
You're
Bravo.
cooked.
We're
You're gonna have
losing
an
Charlie.
unhappy life. You're gonna have an unhappy fucking future. You're done.
Oh.
Not lock in and treat this as a full-time
Net
job.
call. Napalm strike
Okay.
inbound.
You are 1,000% cooked. So I hope this serves as a wake-up call to a lot of you guys. It's been a stark realization for me, and it's been pretty fucking, not gonna lie, it's been a little depressing. But hey, it is what it is. Shout out to Task Force Echo, who says we need more female infantry soldiers. We do. Send them to the front line so they can die. Alright, I'll see you guys.
I'm not gonna say like, cover me. I'm not gonna tell them like to cover me. But when you say like a key word like that, they do understand it. Bro, I've been speaking to people that don't know English for years.
Not bad at
Trust me,
all.
I know the tech.
We lost B.
You know?
Hostile UAV established above.
It ain't worth it, boy. Like, it ain't worth it. My mouth getting dry started. Like, the dissing, the beefing,
They're
the
taking
shooting.
C.
For what? When you sitting in your cell, alone, cold, lonely as hell, man, dude.
But goodness gracious, going and desecrating the gravesite of a murdered relative. You don't deserve to be killed for that, but you just increased your odds that it was going to happen, and that's the truth. That is the truth. So, I'm not at all against
Davion Clapp, the four convicted killers in the Julio murder trial, appear in court for sentencing. Surprisingly, Sean, Isaiah, and Davion speak, and towards the end of this video, Davion
Enemy
claps.
UAV
I'm not joking, hit subscribe to Scott. Alright, there's Sean. His GoFundMe got deleted, I think, by the way. It's not available anymore. Davion and Isaiah, and Rashad, the family man. He's taking care of 4 children and 2 of his siblings, and threw it all away.
I know a number of you filed post-trial motions, so let's go ahead and do this first, right? Ms. Gonzalez, you can kick it off.
I did file a motion for retrial on behalf of Mr. Murphy, and
Oh man, I haven't read it yet.
I just, for the record, would like to just state
Underway on
those
Bravo.
grounds under which we would file a motion without making any more extensive argument that has already been made, and that the record will clearly reflect. Ms. Murphy would suggest that the court heard and denied some of Mr. Murphy's pretrial motions with arguments that extended not only to the pretrial motion dates, but also during the course and scope of the trial in interim circumstances, and that were all on the record. First of all, that would be the motion to suppress Mr. Murphy's cell phone. Secondly, the motion to suppress Mr. Murphy's statements. Next, Judge, the motion for severance of the defendant, and the alternative for separate juries. Next, Judge, his first motion in limine regarding Ghost 187. His second motion in limine and Garber challenge with regard to law enforcement opinion testimony and testimony of alleged gang war history and hearsay-based gang intelligence, as well as uncharged and unsolved acts of violence. Next, Judge, Mr. Murphy's motion in limine regarding gang affiliation, gang identifications, and gang charts. Mr. Murphy's fourth motion in limine regarding opinion identification testimony as it relates to digital media. The portions of Mr. Murphy's fifth motion in limine regarding irrelevant evidence. Mr. Murphy's sixth motion in limine regarding portions of the Robert Howard motion in limine, and also Judge Mr. Murphy's seventh motion in limine regarding state's trial exhibits 88B, 88C, and 101. We also would suggest the court heard and denied Mr. Murphy's motion to judge in a further quote after the state's case and after all of the evidence. And then Judge, just a cumulative count with regard to the totality of those motions that previously were stated on the record. And finally, Judge, that the weight of the evidence did not appear to support.
Fuck you, bitch.
The weight of the evidence does not support the jury's verdict. It is pure delusion. I can't wait to hear what the state has to say about that. Isaiah Chance said the same thing in his motion for a new trial.
Yes, they were. And all of the motions that you filed pre-trial are obviously the court's ruling. Your arguments, your motions, any objections you have are all preserved for the record.
So Sean's lawyer just said they're not going to file a motion for a new trial. I'm sure there's going to be appeals for everyone, but
The motion was to count 6, which is the tamper charge that was only charged against Mr. Gaffney. I believe you ever took that under advisement of the jury's decision. I believe that motion is settled. So we filed memorandum legally laying out the state of the law. The state, I believe, agreed during the motion of the trial that the basis for the tampering charge is the leaving of the car of the grandmothers and wiping down the doors.
correct. He's on the video tampering, wiping down a vehicle that was just used and a murder.
We cited several cases that essentially all hold. There basically two elements for tamper. You have to, there's the removal of the evidence, the physical aspect, but then there's also the specific intent element, which requires evidence that
Oh my bad, King.
alleged removal of evidence was done with the intent to impair its rarity or availability in a criminal proceeding.
He is well aware he just killed someone. He's going to his grandma's house to switch cars, which he never does, so he knows this is to avoid a criminal proceeding. That's the intent.
And there's been no evidence presented of that element at the trial. Essentially, the evidence we see is that the car was left with the grandmother. The grandmother was not told to hide the car or anything like that. Obviously, the grandmother driving the car. She's pulled over in it. The interior of two of the doors are wiped out. That's it. Nothing else is wiped out in the car. It's not consistent with someone trying to impair any availability. Obviously, there would have been 90% of the car still available to be tested for whatever physical evidence might have been in there.
He basically just said he didn't wipe it down good enough for it to be impairment of evidence. Your client's so dumb, he thought he wiped it down good enough.
I think the evidence is clearly consistent with that wiping down being done because it's being left with his grandmother and it's being done out of courtesy to her. That allegedly the evidence is discarded, so to speak, being left with the grandmother, but there's no evidence that it's done with any intent to impair its availability. And it's really, when you think about it, the fact that Mr. Gaffner, even after wiping down the doors, gets back in the car and then drives it to the street and parks it, clearly inconsistent with trying to get rid of any evidence that he used the car. So based on that and based on the authorities we cite in the memorandum, we would renew the motion for judgment of court.
Okay, thank you. All right, Mr. Sonardi.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. On behalf of Davion Murphy, we have in fact filed a motion for new trial. And as previously indicated, at the conclusion of all the evidence, we will...
It's another one I have not read. I didn't know they filed all these. I checked this like yesterday.
Our motion for new trial is based on 6 different grounds. Ground number 1 is denial of the severance of the defendants. The court heard motions to sever defendants and obviously denied that as the case was tried jointly with the other co-defendants. And obviously we allege that...
If anything, Davion makes the other ones look worse. Because Davion's the one spraying on camera into the side of a hotel that's full of sleeping people. Zero accuracy.
Defendants were presented as a collective group, which would have included obviously Mr. Davion Murphy, and there was considerable danger of guilt by association simply because Mr. Davion Murphy was tried jointly with the other co-defendants.
Jesus, bro.
Ground number 2, in that the court allowed extensive gang profile and gang affiliation evidence. The focus of the trial and a substantial portion of the trial was predicated on the state's introduction of Mr. Murphy's alleged gang affiliation, and that became the focus of the trial by alleging that Mr. Murphy was in fact part of participant in the gang, made him guilty by association. And that is Detective Griffin indicating that Mr. Davion Murphy had previously been in prison, and the jury clearly heard that. Court has ruled we allege it as a ground for mistrial and to grant Mr. Davion Murphy a new trial. We would also allege that the evidence as presented as
jumped over my bullets
was contrary, insufficient, or the verdict was contrary to the weight of all the evidence. The cumulative effect of the denial of the severance and of co-defendants' spontaneous admission deprived Mr. Davion Murphy of a fair trial. Ground number 5, improper expert opinion testimony invaded the province of the jury that was asked to...
The best argument he has there is the detective saying he was in prison.
Courts testified concerning gang relationships, etc., which was a large part of the trial. And again, basically, the cumulative error requires a new trial. That would be the extensive gang evidence, highly prejudicial social media evidence that was introduced to the joint trial spillover. That is that because Mr. Davion Murphy was present during the trial with co-defendants, it was spillover evidence, improper association evidence, expert testimony, and repeated references to gang warfare and retaliatory violence. All of that was in a joint trial. We submit that would be sufficient as cumulative evidence to grant Mr. Davion Murphy a new trial.
The jury was instructed to look at evidence separately for each defendant. So for example, whatever Sean Gaffray did on video wasn't to be weighed for any of the other defendants. Alright, so I read Isaiah Chance's motion for a new trial. He's going to go over it again.
Not to belabor what's in there, the argument stipulated that the verdict rests on a chain of impermissibly stacked inferences, and there was not direct evidence presented that Mr. Chance and his co-defendants intended to murder Mr. Jones, that he intended Mr. Jones to be killed, or that his actions were specifically designed to assist or encourage the murder, and therefore there was not evidence under Florida law to sustain a first-degree murder conviction or conspiracy to commit murder conviction. Thank you.
Or didn't even try.
What's your response first to Mr. Gathwright's the motion for judgment of acquittal as to count 6, the tampering charge?
Judge, we did
Big Chunk is here by the cook.
that case law that he cited as authority in his motion as well. And Judge, those cases are clearly distinguishable by to the facts presently in front of the court. One of them was a Corpus case. We literally have the defendant on video where he is seen actually wiping down the fingerprints. All of the rest of the cases went towards knowledge, intent that that physical act was actually done, and proof of that. And Judge, there is circumstantial evidence in this case that is overwhelming. This is a case where the manner in which the homicide occurred was at a hotel, a public spot where 3 armed gunmen used high-powered assault rifles and a Glock with a switch that was automated to be able to fire rapidly and unload it in a public parking lot. And this was the victim in this case. There's ample evidence that they knew who they were targeting. They knew the high-profile nature of the victim. And so, Judge, the law requires for tampering that they knew or should have known that an investigation by law enforcement was going to occur. There is no argument that they can make based on the circumstantial nature, the manner in which they committed this crime, to suggest to this court that he did not know that a law enforcement investigation was
Got that sweat equity.
instituted, and the actions that were done with both of the vehicles that were used in this case clearly were removed from the state of Florida, and where they live in Jacksonville and where they would be investigated, they were removed from that city. They were hidden. That car was hidden at his grandmother's house the day of the homicide. When the homicide occurred, he brought it and he switched vehicles and switched contents that was contained within the suspect murder vehicle and put it into another vehicle, Judge.
That's a good point. You literally moved it to a different city and switched cars. Like that alone shows that he's trying to hide his vehicle, in my opinion.
Based on the facts and the circumstances in this case, we believe that there is enough facts and evidence to support that he knew that a high-profile investigation, homicide investigation would occur. There was all the phone evidence from his phone that showed his activity immediately after this crime. So he certainly knew that they were successful in killing a high-profile rap artist. So based on that and the fact there is no corpus issue in this particular case, he literally is seen wiping it down on a video. So based on all of that evidence, we would ask that you deny the defendant's motion.
Okay, and do you have any further argument on any of the defendant's motions for new trial?
Your Honor, we would rely on all our previous written arguments as well as oral arguments that were made in pre-trial motions and during the course of the trial. Any weight arguments or insufficient evidence we believe is without merit. The facts and evidence in this case were overwhelming. There was a mountain of case, not only circumstantial evidence, there was direct evidence of each and every one of the defendants' participation in this case, as well as the actual crime itself was caught on video. So we would rely on all of our prior arguments written in oral.
All right, so I will deny Sean Gathwright's motion for judgment of acquittal as to count 6 and deny all of the defendant's motions for new trial. All right, State, are you going to...
How you feeling, Sean? I'm sure the last month for him has been not fun. I mean, think about it. He is, what, 20 years old? He got to spend the rest of his life in prison. What, 60 years? Probably? Maybe even longer? That is some depressing shit.
All right, and then you're asking for life on the conspiracy?
Yes.
And then on the attempted murders in the second degree, are there also 20-year amendments on those?
There are, yes.
And then you're asking for 30?
Why is he smiling? Someone answer that. This motherfucker has shown not 1 ounce of remorse. The other dudes, actually no, Isaiah didn't cry either. Rashad and Sean cried a little bit, but this motherfucker has not shown nothing.
No, what she's saying is the jury found him enhancement, so it gets bumped up.
He's looking right at the camera.
It says second degree felony, but what the clerk is asking, it says second degree felony on the docket, but you're saying because of the gang membership that bumps him up to life. Okay?
And the firearm.
I see. Okay.
Losing A.
All right, and you're asking for those one concurrent? Yes. And then as to Rashad Murphy, on count 1, it's mandatory life, and is that also...
There's something wrong with him. I mean, this man cheating and getting sentenced life in prison. Rashad just staring into space. Nothing new here.
They would like to address the court as well? Yes, sure.
They both testified penalty phase.
Wait, his sisters and family are about to talk, and so is Sean. Oh God, his mom.
Just have her stand in front of the podium. That's fine.
Good morning.
Good morning. Afternoon, actually.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for allowing me to address the court. I'd like to say that everything has really opened and brought a lot of attention to a lot of things that are going on in the community and in the neighborhood of Jacksonville and also elsewhere.
Mr. Snarty, you're talking too loud. I can't hear Miss Loud.
Elsewhere in the country. We have received a lot of support, a lot of comments about people who've learned a lot about the judicial process throughout this, which I think is very, very important. And also has sparked a lot of conversation in regards to parents communicating with their children and letting people realize that it doesn't matter what your situation is, you never know what can happen in life and where you can find yourself. And I think with this trial being televised and with a lot of controversy and attention, it's really sparked a lot of conversation throughout the community and brought a lot of awareness. And I hope that this will change a lot of things in people's lives and change their minds and opinions. And as a retired member of the military, I've always been one who has strictly believes in the rule of law and right and wrong. And I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot and about how the process goes. Thank you for allowing me.
Sure, Miss Lyle, and I just want to tell you, you've been a very devoted mother to your son. I can tell you've been here throughout the trial, and he's very fortunate to have you as his mother. And I know your heart is broken. I know it is because it's your child, and I do have sympathy for that and for you. I really do. I'm very sorry for you and for your family that this is where you find yourself. Your attitude and what you're taking away from it, I hope as well for the community's sake that there is some change, because this can't go on. This tragedy just cannot go on. So I thank you for your comments.
Oh, his grandma. I don't think I see his sister, actually.
I too want to thank you for allowing me to address the court. This tragic event occurred when Sean was barely 18 years old, and this is a time when the prefrontal cortex of the brain is not fully developed. This development doesn't complete itself until they're at least 25. And this is the area of the brain that controls impulses, and risky behavior is part of the immature brain. They have a heightened drive for risky behavior. Logic is emotions and impulses are their first priority, and logic is the second one.
All right, I know it's called Sean dumb earlier, but he ain't that dumb. He knows right and wrong. He went to private school. He had a good family and role models. His brain might not have been fully developed, but he knows not to run up on someone and squeeze a trigger and can blow AR bullets into his heart.
And I know that Sean made a mistake, but I really believe that the punishment is too severe. Sean.
I know, it's hard. Mrs. Gathright, it's hard. I know.
Sean is a bright young man, and given the opportunity, I believe he can make an outstanding role model for younger people. He's a strong Christian.
Safety's off. We're not
and he
here
is
to
liked
make
by
friends.
his peers as well as
Securing Alpha.
adults. This one
Underway
event
on
should
Bravo.
not define the rest of his life.
Well, this one event defined Julio's life by being shot in the heart.
All right. And Mr. Gathright, do you wish to say something?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I just thank you once again for allowing me the opportunity.
Be locked down.
I prepared.
We're losing
This is
Alpha.
really something. I worked
Securing
kind of thoughtfully on, well, pretty thoughtfully on it, so I just ask that you allow your discretion for me to.
As long as it's respectful.
Yes.
All right.
Here we are, being sentenced for the murder of Charles Jones on the day he was killed 2 years later. Now, some may say this is just a coincidence.
I didn't even realize this really is like 2 years later. Wow.
It is or ever will be left up to chance, and that everything in this world is predestined.
Securing Zone A.
And there are many biblical promises of that belief holding true. Jeremiah 1:5 says, "Before you were formed in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart.
Losing Bravo.
Jeremiah 29:11 says, I know the plans I have for you, plans for good and not for disaster. And Romans 8:28 says, we know all things work together for good to those who love God and are called to his purpose. And there are many more just like them. God has full sovereignty over our lives. He chooses our times of peace and prosperity, our times of joy and laughter.
That's what I'm talking
But he also
about.
chooses our traumas and our tribulations, not to punish and tear us apart, but to strengthen our character and our faith. Everyone wonders how and why I ended up in a situation like this, despite growing up with a loving family, nice home, multiple opportunities, and promising potential. Some act as if is it impossible or unheard of for someone like me to find themselves in a situation like this. But in reality, it is much more common than we think, and has been happening long before today. There is a parable Jesus shared with the world called the prodigal son. A son who had the nice home, loving family, servants. He had his every need catered to. Yet he still chose to take his inheritance and venture off to a far country where he indulged in prodigal living. He soon ran out of money, and the famine had struck the land he was in. And while that would have been enough signs for most to turn back, his eyes still had to open, and he still had to come to his senses. Hungry and desperate, he found a job on a farm feeding pigs. And during these times, pigs and what they were fed were deemed as the filthiest, most impure, lowest of the low, and worst of the worst. But he was so hungry and so blind that the food he fed the pigs looked appetizing. That's when he finally came to his senses. He realized that even the servants back home had enough food to spare, yet here he is dying of hunger amongst pigs. After this eye-opening experience, he decided to return home. He was ashamed and planned to go to his father to ask for forgiveness and to become one of the servants because he no longer felt worthy to be called his son. But when he returned, his father embraced him with love and compassion, dressed him in the finest clothes and jewels, and celebrated his son's return with a feast, exclaiming, "This son of mine was dead and has come back to life. He was lost and is now found." It is not uncommon for good young men who come from good families to get lost in this world. But discontentment often leads these good young men astray. When scholars and historians look back on our times, I believe they will label us as the age of discontentment. And those of us who come from privileged upbringings are actually disadvantaged to the fight against it. Because of the high expectations, many opportunities and options we grow up with, we don't know what struggle looks like, or how hard our parents had to work to provide these opportunities for us. We don't know what we have until it's gone. And it often happens after we go through our own eye-opening experience. Never in history has there been a time like now, where there's so much available and so easy to consume, but we still demand more. And it is clearly seen in my generation. Young men and women want to grow up faster, to try to keep up with the influencers that are idolized. And this is in part due to us being so susceptible. A study done by the National Institute of Mental Health provided evidence showing that the brain doesn't reach full maturity until 26 to 27 years old for men. About 8 or 9 years older than my time during the offense. But society knows this, and that's why laws set age requirements on certain activities, amenities, and substances as a way to protect adolescent adults. Yet those same laws don't extend to an adolescent adult when they are charged with crimes and allows them to be prosecuted to the fullest extent, regardless of their age. Your Honor, it is heartbreaking that an 18-year-old can't rent a car or a hotel or buy a home, but can be sentenced to death or life in prison without the possibility of parole. They can't purchase alcohol or tobacco, but can be sentenced to death or life in prison without the possibility of parole.
Brother, when I was 18, I knew not to squeeze a trigger into someone's heart.
They can't work certain jobs or even go on a cruise without a chaperone, but can be sentenced to death without life, or life without prison, in prison without possibility of parole. And I'm a prime example of these circumstances. At 18 years old, with no prior convictions, I was charged, indicted, and had to face the death penalty. My point is, society views anyone under the age of 21 as not being mentally mature enough to participate or partake in these activities, amenities, and substances because certain substances listed can negatively impact or stunt the growth of a developing brain, while other activities and amenities have restrictions due to the lack of impulse and behavioral control or lack of situational awareness at times with teens. It is very simple to understand that our brains have not developed enough, that we live in a society where someone under the age of 21 can be sentenced to death or life in prison without parole, leave no room for growth, rehabilitation, or redemption.
I was streaking again. I only died once, bro.
Developed adult, and their judgment and decision-making abilities weren't developed. I believe it is cruel for someone under the age of 21 to be sentenced to life without parole or death before they're even old enough to be fully emancipated or to fully comprehend what consequences their actions carry.
I believe it's cool to point guns at someone and spray down their windshield and shoot them in the heart.
I say all this because I know it's trying to watch Jackson.
For real though, he actually has done a pretty good job at reading this, and he's clearly the smartest out of the three. I mean, I even said that during the trial. Like, Sean, dude, you fucked up, brother. I have to tell you.
Long before they were born. Change for the prodigal sons and daughters who ventured off too far in the world and got lost. Change for those who haven't reached full maturity or unlocked their full potential as adults. Change for the ones who never had the option to go around, over, or underneath, but straight through their obstacles. In spite of my current circumstances, I still trust in all those biblical promises. And I believe that I am exactly where God planned for me to be, a plan He created long before I was born. It is also my belief that this chapter of my life will propel me to a much greater purpose than what we see here today, because my journey has just begun. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gathright. All right. Does Davion Murphy wish to say anything, or anyone on his behalf? He's indicating no. Okay, sure. Come on up. Again, as long as it's respectful.
All right, Isaiah, what you gonna say?
Sorry, I'm kind of nervous. Sorry.
It's all right.
So I just, what I did right, Sean kind of covered like how predominantly what I did right.
Okay.
And my lawyer just told me I couldn't talk about a lot of things. So.
Well, you just need to be careful. If you start talking about the facts of the case, you could end up creating more evidence against you, so that's probably his concern. So, I just want you to be aware of that. But even if you're repeating what Mr. Gathright said, you still have the right to say it. So, I don't want you to feel that you can't talk just because Mr. Gathright already said it.
Okay. All right.
Come on, Isaiah, just read what you wrote.
How do we even have or know the right words to say that can rectify the intense severity of how I am situated currently, corresponding to my sentencing right now? I don't think anyone with a reasonable mind frame could adjust their conscience to the reality of something this absurd, especially being this young. This is harder than what I intended. I'm gonna be honest. I feel like our appearances here were more political based than solely in our 6 and 14th Amendment, which guarantees our right to a fair trial with an impartial jury for each defendant.
He's saying they didn't have a fair trial. Straight up, he's not even apologizing for nothing. This guy's crazy.
Being that, I'm not gonna say that.
Come on, Isaiah. Holy shit.
Losing B.
I wanted to say something to you directly.
We're losing Charlie.
No, that's fine, and you're more than welcome to disagree with any way I may have ruled in the case.
Forfeit on
you
that
just
wall?
can't
Repeat the facts.
Yeah, you don't need to repeat the facts, but
Losing Bravo.
you just can't be rude to me. That's all I'm asking. You can express disagreement. I have thick skin, and there'll be an appellate review of everything I did, but just don't be disrespectful, because then I'm gonna have to tell you to sit down. And it becomes a thing. So let's just not have a thing.
Bravo lost. Okay, so thank you. So justice is good. Unlike the rest of my co-defendants here, they all are charged with being the alleged shooters and have the same verdicts. However, me on the other hand, the one who was charged with me for playing the same alleged role as I gets found not guilty for what I am charged with. Alicia's case didn't contradict the alleged shooter versus the state case. I don't even think it's possible it could have. However, it contradicts mine being the only principle here, because both of our jury's decisions contradict each other.
So I think his point there is him and Alicia should have the same sentencing, so he's wishing for that 15 years that she got, because she got so lucky. It's beyond words how lucky she got.
I went to trial with 3 other people who have the same verdict as I, and she didn't.
It's low-key true. He would have had a way better chance if he was tried with Alicia. But this man's on camera tracking someone down that gets murdered. Like, bro, you're cooked.
Alicia get found not guilty for my current charge. It wasn't a coincidence. And basically what I'm saying
Locking down
is,
Bravo.
Alicia, in the state alleged that we played, that's getting into like the facts of like the case.
Well, that's okay. If I'm hearing you correctly, you are taking issue with the fact that I don't know if she's your current or former girlfriend, but she went to trial. She was convicted of a manslaughter and got 15 years, and now you're here facing life, and that I would assume that seems unjust.
Bravo capture underway.
That's highly unjust. I seen Susie Lopez on the news this morning, and she was saying that justice has been served. Absolutely, if you see it from that perspective. But everything that's a perspective is based on perception. So if you say that's justice, okay, but when you look at it, you put me and Alicia up on like side by side, like that's unjust, like it's injustice, like it doesn't make sense, like it's contrary to my verdict. Like her jury made their decision, my jury made our jury made their decision, but it contradicts like both of our verdicts. The only difference is like I went to trial with my co-defendants and she went to trial by herself. So I feel like personally I got guilt more so by association than like participation. That's all I really wanted to say.
Losing B.
Judge. Sorry, but this is way more harder than I anticipated. But that's all I think.
Sure.
So no remorse whatsoever. Just basically saying he's pissed about Alicia getting a shorter sentence.
You probably know when Miss Andrews went to trial, she basically pinned it all on you.
Enemy UAV detected.
Yeah, I don't know.
Losing Bravo.
You know when as I sit with my lawyer, like he's probably shivering over there because he don't know what happened out.
Right. He's very concerned.
Definitely.
Losing B.
A lot of people don't know, but before you go to trial, you try to be optimistic, but everything is done strategically. So how the lawyers optimize what they're gonna say or what they're gonna do, they do it with the client. You know, I'm not saying what she's saying was wrong or not wrong, or what he wanted her to say, or what she said. You know? But that's all it is. I want to say something like Jacksonville though too. So to my city, man, it ain't worth it, boy. Like it ain't worth it. Like me being a rapper from my city and Fulio being a rapper from our city, it ain't worth it. Like my mouth getting dry, sorry. Like the dissing, the beefing, the shooting, like for what? Like for what? Like when you sitting in your cell alone, cold, lonely as hell like that.
Lonely as hell in that bitch.
Everybody leave you.
You did not just say that.
Everybody leave you.
Locked down. Hold
like,
the
nobody
enemy
there
back.
for you. Like the ones,
Losing B.
The ones that's your ride or die, your girlfriends, whoever you love, the only person that's for you is your mother, and maybe like one friend, maybe, but it ain't worth it though, bro. It worth it. I was 21 years old facing the death penalty. My only interactions with law enforcement was traffic tickets. Wake up next morning, I'm facing the death penalty. That's how quick life can change. It ain't worth it, though.
I like this message, though.
That's all. Sorry if I was nervous. Sorry.
No, it's okay, Mr. Chance.
Losing Bravo.
Thank you for saying that.
Yes, ma'am.
These boys fucked up, man.
What would you like to say, Ms. Murphy?
I would like to say to
Can't hear.
all the time, and keep up with how the last say so.
Sorry, Judge. You know, you may have to step up to the podium because the
as I was saying,
Did he gain weight? What are you eating in there?
yeah, it look different from them. To God be the glory all the time, and His brother had a last say so in our situation. As I said in my interrogation interview, I'll be judged for it, and I forever retain my innocence.
Losing B.
And I just want to say to the Gen Z generation, change your life and do something productive with your life. Because in this predicament, it ain't worth it.
Team, we are in the lead.
Like I was saying before, this is not my first rodeo down this road, so it's looking like velvet, but I felt to keep a positive mindset, positive mindset, but to God be the glory. And that's it.
Thank you, Ms. Murphy.
Scores have been earmarked for elevation.
Dropping Rashad Murphy, anything you want to say or at all? You don't have to. Just give me the final chance.
I love everybody.
Okay. All right. Very good.
What?
All right.
So I love everybody.
Give me the final chance. Okay. Okay. All right. Very good.
I don't think she hear you.
All right.
Rashad can't go up there and say something to his kids or something?
First of all, I want to commend the lawyers again. I know I did it at the close of the trial, but this was a massive case. I mean, it's by far the longest case, the most intricate case, the most difficult case that I've ever handled in almost 24 years. And I know for you all as well, it had to have been, I can't even imagine, the Herculean task of all the evidence and sorting through it. And you all always conducted yourselves with the utmost professionalism. I also want to comment about law enforcement's work. I don't know if Detective Ramos is here. I don't see him here. That was one heck of a job. I mean, that was unbelievable. I mean, I've seen a lot of good homicide detectives testify over the years from TPD or HCSO. That was remarkable, and particularly in light of the fact that it was his first time as a lead detective. I mean, and he had an encyclopedic knowledge of this case. I mean, it was, and I'm talking about massive amounts of information that he could recall instantly. And specifically, I want to note Detective Nader and Detective Drayback. They, again, worked tirelessly on this case. They worked hand in glove with Detective Ramos.
Drayback DM'd me on Instagram saying he was a fan of the channel. I ain't respond to him. I'm not on anyone's side. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the police. But, he DM'd me.
That's good old-fashioned detective work. I really don't know what to say about what's going on in Jacksonville again, and I don't know if it's getting better or not, but I was stunned. And when I was sitting there listening to the evidence and just the trail of dead bodies, just one young man after the next, just cut down in the prime of their lives. I mean, it's shocking. It is shocking. And I just can't believe that any community, if they're made aware of it, will stand by and put up with that. I mean, it's just tragic. And, Mr. Jones did not deserve to die for what he did, or what he drilled, the drill rap videos he made. But goodness gracious, going and desecrating the gravesite of a murdered relative is, you don't deserve to be killed for that, but you just increased your odds that it was going to happen. And that's the truth. That is the truth. So I'm not at all, again, stating that he deserves.
Davion clapped.
For what he did, or what he drilled, the drill rap videos he made. But goodness gracious, going and desecrating the gravesite of a murdered relative is, you don't deserve to be killed for that, but you just increased your odds that it was going to happen. And that's the truth. That is the truth. So I'm not at all, again, stating that he deserved it, but it's just shocking. It's shocking to me. And I do have great sympathy for the defendants. You all, for the most part, are young men. And some of you have children. And now, for what? For what? You're looking at life in prison. And what was it for? And I really appreciate Mr. Gathright and Mr. Chance really speaking to your community. Like these decisions that are made can have unalterable changes that you can't come back from. There's no coming back from them. You either end up dead or incarcerated for life. And I feel like, you know, you gentlemen had much more to offer this world. You did, and you do. And so, in particular, you know, Mr. Rashad Murphy and Davion Murphy, listen, there's no question you guys had a difficult childhood. There is no question. The hand that you were dealt from Jump Street was not the best. There is no question about that. Again, it's not an excuse, but I do acknowledge it. Mr. Chance and Mr. Gathright, you all, unlike Mr. Murphy's, you all did have positive role models in your life. Mr. Chance, you had a dad that testified, appeared to be a good role model, and a stepfather that cared about you, and Mr. Gathright, as you acknowledged, you had so many opportunities that most people don't have. I mean, you started off, you're the hand that you were dealt, the cards that you were dealt were pretty good. They were pretty darn good. Better than the average person. So it's particularly I am heartbroken for you. I'm heartbroken for your family members. I'm heartbroken for your children. I am. So I do have great sympathy. But you have been convicted, and it was a horrible crime that was committed, and there is a price to be paid, and there's just no way around that. I do find it remarkable, and I hope that you can maintain your positive outlook. Each of you still has a life of value. And going forward, the quality of the life that you have, every day will come down to the choices you make. And so I hope that you continue to make choices, and then you realize you do have value and you can contribute. One thing I found out when I was listening to the testimony, I think when Robert Howard testified, he testified that Jacksonville was the new little Chicago. And I almost fell out of my chair, because I can't even imagine anyone in Jacksonville wanting that comparison. So I was curious, I looked it up, and who knows if this is accurate, but apparently in Chicago last year there were 406 homicides. A quarter of that was gang related. That's 104 people. Dead, poof, gone. For what? For what? All right, so, Mr. Chance, I'm going to start first. I'm going to adjudicate you guilty. Count 1, sentence you to mandatory life without the possibility of parole. Count 2, I will adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to life to run concurrent with count 1. Mr. Gathright. On count 1, I will adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to life without the possibility of parole. You also have a 20-year minimum mandatory sentence. On count 2, the conspiracy, I will sentence you to 30 years in prison to run concurrent. Count 3, attempted murder in the second degree, I will sentence you to 30 years Florida State Prison with a 20-year minimum mandatory sentence, again to run concurrent with all other counts. On count 4, attempted murder in the second degree, adjudicate you guilty and sentence you to 30 years prison with a 20-year minimum mandatory sentence, again to run concurrent with all other counts. Count 5, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 30 years Florida State Prison with a 20-year minimum mandatory sentence, again to run concurrent with all other counts. And on count 6, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 5 years Florida State Prison. Again, to run concurrent, and again, for you and Mr. Chance, give me credit for all time served. As to Davion Murphy, Mr. Davion Murphy, I will adjudicate you guilty of first-degree premeditated murder, sentence you to life in prison without the possibility of parole, and you will have a 20-year minimum mandatory sentence as part of the life sentence. Count 2, on the conspiracy, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to life to run concurrent. On the attempted murders, counts 3, 4, and 5, I will adjudicate you guilty of each of those, sentence you to life in prison with a 20-year minimum mandatory sentence on each, again to run concurrent with all of the other counts, and again giving you credit for all time served. And finally, Mr. Rashad Murphy, I will adjudicate you guilty of murder in the first degree, sentence you to life in prison without the possibility of parole, and you will also receive a 20-year minimum mandatory sentence. On count 2, conspiracy, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to life in prison to run concurrent with count 1. On counts 3, 4, and 5, I will adjudicate you guilty on each of those, sentence you to life in prison. Each of those carries a 20-year minimum mandatory, again to run concurrent with all other counts, and giving you credit for all time served. All right, anything further? I do wish you gentlemen the best, I really do, to make the most of your lives going forward. And you do have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of this court. Alright? Thank you all for concluding.
Oh god, I think his family's trying to say bye to him. See ya, Sean.
Hey bro, I have some news for you. I got engaged. And he's like, congrats, man. And I'm like, thank you, bro. And then I went and I talked to my wife after this, and I was like, you know, hey, I told, I called my family, they know we're engaged.
There's a version of a man that most women never get to see. He's the one quietly doing all the emotional heavy lifting. He's texting back instantly. He's rearranging his weekend because she seemed a little off. He's rehearsing in his head how to bring something up without making her feel bad. He lies awake running calculations, whether he said too much or not enough, whether the problem is her or whether it's him, and that version is exhausted. And at some point, not dramatically, not with a speech, and not even necessarily with a conversation, something in him shifts. He stops. And it's not because he became cold or he checked out or he's given up on his relationships, but it's because he's finally understood something that nobody had ever put into words for him. That a man who doesn't respect himself cannot be respected by anyone else. All the softening, the accommodating, the making himself smaller, that's not love. That was a slow erosion of everything that made him worth
Those are only
being
4 of
in the
us.
first place. This is a video about that moment. The moment that a man finally chooses himself. What it looks like, what it means, and why. And this is the part that surprises people the most. It is one of the most attractive things a man can do. I'm going to give you the signs, not to judge the men who are still in this exhausted place, but to help you recognize, whether you're a man watching this or a woman who loves one, what it actually looks like when a man reclaims himself. Because it doesn't look like what you think it does. Now, before we get into the signs, there's something that I want to say, because without this, the whole video might be misread. A man choosing himself is not a man becoming selfish. It's not a man becoming unavailable, cold, or emotionally shut down. Those things are not self-respect, they're self-protection, and they're very different things. Self-protection is a wall, self-respect is a standard, and a man who genuinely found his self-respect is not harder to reach, he's actually just clearer to read. He's more grounded, he's more direct, he's more present, he knows what he wants and he says it, and he knows what he won't accept and he holds it. Not with anger, not with threats, but with a calm, settled certainty that's almost impossible to fake. That's what you'll learn to recognize today. The first sign is he stops explaining himself to people who aren't listening. There is a particular kind of emotional labor that men in low self-respect patterns know intimately. It's the endless explaining, the justifying, the over-communication of reasons, feelings, decisions to someone who's going to dismiss them or weaponize them anyway. A man who's found his self-respect, he stops doing this. And it's not because he becomes secretive or he stops communicating, but it's because he's finally understood that explanation is not the same as connection, and that clarity doesn't require someone else's approval to be valid. Watch for this one carefully, because it looks different depending on who you are. If you're used to a man who's over-explained, his silence might start to feel like withdrawal. It's not withdrawal, it's the absence of anxiety. He's not pulling away from you, he's no longer being pulled around by the need for your validation. When a man stops over-explaining, he just stops treating other people's opinions as the final word on who he is. Sign number 2, he lets things end without chasing. This is one of the most significant and most misread signs there is. A man who doesn't yet have his self-respect, he's going to chase. He's going to send the follow-up text after the silence. He'll reach back out after the fade. He'll find a reason to reopen something, to try it one more time, because the comfort of unresolved ending feels much worse than the discomfort of staying in something that just isn't working. The moment that he stops chasing is not the moment he stopped caring. It's the moment that he understood something that took him a really long time to learn, that his presence is not something to beg for someone to receive. Research in the psychology of attachment, including work by Cindy Hazan and Philip Shaver on adult attachment patterns, shows that anxious behaviours like over-pursuing and the inability to tolerate endings are not signs of love. They're signs of a dysregulated nervous system trying to relieve its own anxiety. So what looks like devotion from the outside is actually fear on the inside. When a man stops chasing and lets things end clearly, his nervous system has learned something new. He's learned that he'll be okay. He doesn't need to close every loop, and that some endings are not failures, they're just answers. He lets it go. Not because it didn't matter, but because he knows his own worth enough to know that staying where he isn't chosen is the one thing that he can no longer do. Sign 3, he starts saying no without an apology attached. Pay close attention to this one, because it's subtle. A man who's still earning his place in his relationship, in a friendship or a workplace, anywhere, will say no with a cushion around it. He'll soften it, explain it, justify it. He'll offer an alternative just to make sure the other person isn't upset. The no itself is almost secondary to the effort that he puts into managing their reaction to it. A man who's found his self-respect says no differently. It's clean. It doesn't come with an hour of hedging. He's not rude about it. Self-respect is not rudeness, but he is clear about it, without the apology attached to what is actually a reasonable boundary. The shift is psychological.
Turn off that auto mount, bro.
Saying no with apologizing for it requires a specific belief that your needs and your limits are as valid as anyone else's. For men who spent years operating as if the goal was to be as agreeable and as low maintenance as possible, that belief is a revolution. When you hear a man say no and mean it, without the performance of guilt around it, you're watching a man who's finally stopped treating his own limits as inconveniences to be managed. Sign 4, he stopped shrinking in rooms that made him feel small. This one's a little bit harder to put into words, but you'll know it immediately when you see it. There are rooms and relationships where certain men become less. They get quieter, their opinions disappear, they agree with things that they don't actually agree with, they laugh at things that aren't funny to them, they present a version of themselves calibrated to be accepted rather than actually be.
What we doing, fellas? Why can I still not vote? This don't make sense.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. I get the same thing.
Stupid.
I know. I said the same thing. It's the latest update. That's what it is.
Yeah, last time I couldn't see my care packages.
Hardcore domination. Take the objective. Taking A. Underway on Bravo. Zone Alpha captured.
뭘 좋네. 장비 보냈다.
Securing B. Locking down Charlie. Losing B. Enemy UAV detected. Locking down Bravo. Bravo zone secure. Enemy care package dropping. Lead's ours. Stay on task. Securing C.
RTSD.
All locations are ours. Hell yeah!
Enemies have deleted your echo unit.
They're taking C. Come on, we've lost.
UAV in the air. Hunting with Deadeye.
Locking down Charlie.
Kicking off OBJ capture.
Losing Bravo. We're losing Alpha. We're losing Charlie. We've lost Alpha. Taking Alpha.
Dempsey prepping sentry turret.
Skewer incoming. Location secure. That's what I'm talking about.
Where they at though?
Losing A. They're taking C. We lost C. Lost A. Securing C. Losing B.
적 확인.
Charlie secured. Hostile UAV established above. Securing zone A. Locations locked down. Not bad at all.
수류탄 조심해.
We're losing Alpha.
Second, drop care package on my beacon. 전방에 적 필드 업그레이드.
We've lost Alpha.
That's crazy. Hey.
Taking Alpha. All objectives locked down.
Shot.
Keep the guild back. Lost A. Lost A.
Yo, C-Snacks, can you fix your mic?
We're losing Charlie.
Enemies have deleted your echo unit.
Securing Alpha.
점령한다.
We're taking C. Securing zone A. Losing Bravo. We're losing Charlie. All locations are ours. Hell yeah. Securing Charlie.
Yo, C-Snacks, your mic.
All objectives locked down. Keep the guild back.
Requesting CUAV above.
We've lost Alpha.
RCXD maneuvering. 장비 보냈다.
Taking A.
이동 지점 설정.
All locations locked down. Not bad at all. We control the field. Keep it that way. Guild teams are bugging out. Figure out what they were hiding.
Nobody on my team did shit.
Trigger to swim by this guy. I'm fucking killing my ass.
Good game though.
Good to do.
Yep.
시작해볼까?
Hardcore domination. Control the objective.
Moving on the
Taking C. Zone Charlie, locked down. We've claimed the lead. Widen the gap. Taking Alpha. Securing B.
Objective.
Walk.
Losing B. Taking B.
Get me eyes in the sky.
Bravo zone secure. Securing zone A.
Moving on the objective.
Fuck you, teammate.
Losing Bravo. Taking A.
Capture underway.
They're taking C. We lost C. Securing Alpha. We locked down A.
Logging UAV request. Orbital helo deployment.
Drop their ass. Toss the cluster grenade.
Taking down Charlie.
Moving on the objective. Threat eliminated.
Taking C.
That's 5 kills.
Control zone C.
Your Echo unit has been destroyed.
Tagging waypoint.
We're losing Charlie. We've lost Charlie. Taking Alpha.
Objective capture underway.
Get me eyes in the sky.
Losing B. Zone A secure.
Toss a cluster grenade.
No.
Bravo is out.
Oh, you feeling it now, aren't you?
UAV over.
Tagging waypoint.
We're losing Alpha.
Field upgrade is down.
Securing Charlie.
Working on the objective.
Losing A. Secure. Maintain current posture. We're losing Alpha.
Toss a cluster grenade.
Lost Alpha.
Tango. Tagging waypoint.
Enemies have deleted your Echo unit.
They are taking C.
Frog pop.
Securing Zone A. Under guild control. Keep it that way. We're losing Charlie.
No, teammate, why?
Losing A. Lost C.
You mad, bro?
I mean, I was not. It's not like I wasn't about to get streaks or anything.
Listen, you
It was the second time you fucking got my ass.
Yeah, I know.
Yo, Bunder, you good?
Securing C. Securing Charlie. Losing. Locations are secure. Maintain current posture.
Enemy assault.
Taking all.
Tagging
Enemy care package detected overhead. All zones are being locked down. Crush them while they're on the defensive. Enemy Hellstorm launch detected in your AO. Hostile care package above.
You're still on that van, my god.
We're literally frying them. Why are you stressed, bro?
I'm getting calls from some very happy shareholders.
Why are you
Good
so
work.
mad, bro?
Yeah, I'll celebrate when the check clears.
Oh, maybe you're in my kill cam.
Latest and greatest.
Congrats, Brooks. You're so good. Welcome back.
Hardcore domination. Eyes up. System's hot. We're not here for a tour. Taking Alpha. Securing B. Zone A. Underway on Bravo. B locked down. Got the advantage. Now we have to keep it. Securing C. Losing A. Secure. We're losing Alpha. We lost A.
Go on mission.
Zone C secure.
Tackle. Get me a unit.
Losing Bravo.
Shots.
장비 보냈다.
Losing B. Authorizing UAV tasking. Losing B. Secure Alpha.
What?
Lost B. Hostiles released a skewer. Hostile care package above.
Rip, bruh.
Locking down Bravo. Bravo is ours.
I get the points for that? That's fucking crazy. Yeah, I can't get anything going. Going 1 for 1 all match. Oh my god, he lived through those shots.
Enemy UAV detected. Enemy care package dropping. Losing B.
Oh, my bad.
UAV tasking. Losing Bravo. Welcome to Find Outfits.
Oh.
They're taking C. Taking A.
Enemies have deleted your echo unit.
Losing B.
Damn, damn, damn. Damn, damn, damn. Unfortunate. Are kicking their ass off.
Securing B. Enemy CUAV established.
They just chill on the flags for a bit, get our kill on, but I'm also down to kind of just get this fucking game over with.
Taking Alpha. We're losing Charlie. We've lost down Bravo.
Your Echo unit has been destroyed.
They're taking C. Losing A. Come on. We've lost Charlie. C secured. They're on the ropes. Don't let them fucking breathe.
Cluster grenade out.
Clean work.
Okay.
No leaks. Damn, I think I might be impressed. Hardcore domination. Guild signatures all over this place. Hit them hard. Zone out for capture. Underway on the road. Securing B.
Oh. Don't hear you at all.
Losing Bravo.
Fuck you.
Locking down Charlie. Charlie secured.
Oh.
Taking B.
목표 점령한다. 이동 지점 설정. Enemies deleted your echo.
We're losing Charlie. Location secure. That's what I'm talking about. Stay tight. We're in the lead.
Authorizing UAV.
Enemy UAV detected. We're losing all zones. We've lost Alpha. Securing Alpha. We've lost all zones. Alpha secure. You are incoming. The guild reclaimed the lead. Securing Charlie. Incoming napalm strike in your AO. Authorizing UAV hostage. Locking down Charlie. Hostile UAV established above. All locations are ours. Hell yeah! Got the lead.
Taka, get me a UAV.
We lost A.
Fuck.
이동 지점 설정.
Been requesting UAV overflight. Losing B. Enemy care package dropping.
Good shot.
Hostile counter UAV above. Hostile dreadnought inbound on your location.
Hostile dreadnought. God, you pussy.
Authorizing UAV mission. Your echo unit has been destroyed.
They're taking C. Come on. We've lost Charlie. We've locked down A.
Your echo unit.
Losing Bravo.
Fuck.
Losing B. Taking C. Bravo lost.
Taka, get me a UAV.
Underway on Bravo. Losing A. All zones lost. Bravo is ours. Securing C. Well done. Zone Charlie locked down. Authorizing UAV pass-through. Losing B. Locking hostile. Enemy UAV detected. Losing Bravo.
Fucking fuck.
Sit rep. VTOL warship on approach.
Dude, we're just getting fucking stomped this game, huh? You.
Hostile UAV established. Taking Alpha. Securing B. Taking all zones. Zone secure. Enemy UAV detected. We control zone C. We're losing Alpha. We've lost Alpha. Securing Alpha.
I'm just not having fun.